I think that it's really powerful to kind of share your own stories in a way that is accessible to lots of people around you. I think it's really great when we have these discussions that necessarily aren't always had, but through the work, I want to bring about like a surprise. When you see it somewhere, you think, oh, like I didn't think this was a big moment to be documented, but I want people to see the value in everyday experiences. These are some illustrations I done on the back of the bus upstairs. And here I was looking at the ritual that we do in London when you're in kind of your ages, after school and college, going to the chicken and chip shop with your friends and getting some food to eat. I'm really into trainers as well. So these are some sneakers that I drew. And these were like my top favorite trainers of 2020 when we're in pandemic. I'm really into friendship and research, and this is some work I made during the pandemic when we were in lockdown and we couldn't see our friends. And then this is another project I did where it was about mental health in Lewisham. Here are some illustrations of my brothers. I think these are my favorite people to draw. They're 18 now, and then I've been drawing them my whole life, and it's been great to see how they've grown. With my drawing, I use Sharpie, so black felt tip pen. I like to use simple material, and I just use colored paper. And then once I've done that drawing, I'll scan it in and put it on Photoshop and maybe digitalize it, maybe add like different types of backgrounds. But I like to work in a simple way because illustration is something that everybody can do. You don't have to have expensive kit and tools to do that. This is some work that I did with Levi's, the jeans company, and I made a custom denim jacket with a London-based rapper called Eni, and all of the money from the denim jacket goes to a charity for young people in London, bringing them into like creativity and art, similar to what you guys are doing now. I like to work with young people, as I was saying earlier, and a few years ago, I spent time with a youth club in Battersea and I done a residency. So I did like workshops with them. So we done bike customization, we done lino printing, we done cooking, we done screen printing, all different types of printing. And it was great to introduce young people to creative ways of expression. Also with the young people, we made a mural which went around the youth club. So with the young people, they took me around the local area. They showed me their favorite places to hang out, their favorite people, things that mean a lot to them. And then I did some drawings of them there. We also did another mural, and this was in a bike workshop. So all of these young boys here are qualified bike technicians. So if your bike is broken, you can bring it to them and they can fix it for you. And we did a mural in their workshop, and that was really good fun too. I think there's a lot of things illustration can do and be applied to. So this is a single cover, an album cover for another London rapper. And I really enjoyed doing this one because I feel like this rapper, she discusses the same type of things I discuss, but she does it through music and I do it through illustration. These are some illustrations I did for a book called The Art of Protest. And this book is by an academic and activist called Dee Nichols, and she's from America. And it was about introducing young people to protest art and what it means and what was happening in society at the time, and also encouraging young people to make their own protest art. This is another few illustrations from that book, and this one is Vanessa Nakate. She's a climate activist from Uganda, so she does like the same kind of stuff Greta Thunberg has been doing. And this was an illustration about the Soweto uprising in South Africa, which was a student-led protest in 1976. So that was really interesting. And the thing I love about doing book illustration is that you get to learn so much while you're doing it, whilst you're researching. This is some work I did about living in a house share in London during lockdown. And this is some other work I done, which is an illustration project. And it was talking about oil pollution in Nigeria and how it's had a massive effect on farming. and the Nigerian farmers took the oil company to court and they sued them for pollution, and it was really brilliant because they won their case. And these are some more illustrations, and it was like fun to work in a kind of limited color palette, you know, to bring all of the images together to be cohesive. This is some work I'd done in a hospice in London, and it was about bereavement during COVID and how that's impacted us. How do we grieve when the world around us is so different? So I worked with 10 people who have been recently bereaved, and then we were working together for a few months. We were sharing stories, doing workshops, drawing workshops, thinking about food and memory. And these are some of the outcomes from the workshop. And then outcome, altogether, the 11 of us, we decided that we want to make some illustrations, some riso prints. And then we made 6. These are 2 of them. And then we were talking about things that made grieving harder. So we were talking about when the number of people you could have at a funeral keeps changing. We were thinking about the new, I guess, like rules in the hospital, which didn't allow you to see your family member because you have to keep everybody safe. So this project was a really brilliant project, and I really built a lot of connections with people. And I think that's what I love about illustration. It doesn't always have to be just you by yourself drawing. It can be communal. You know, you can be making stories together. And this is my last project I wanted to show you, where in October, just in 2022, I designed some Nike trainers. And as I was telling you, I really like trainers. So this project was really special for me. So these are some of the trainers I designed, and it comes with a Sharpie pen, and the Sharpie pen has a Nike tick on there. And I love that because it enables you to customize your shoe. This blue illustration is inside of the shoe, printed on the sole. And then these are some other illustrations that I made, which you can get customized on t-shirts. So I think that's it from me, and I'm really happy to answer any questions and have a discussion.
Does anybody have any questions for Olivia about how she works? Okay, okay, we're gonna go with Helen, I think, first, and then keep your hands ready. Nice and loud, Helen.
Why did you choose to be an artist out of all the other things that you could become?
Can you repeat it a bit?
Why did you choose to become an artist out of all the other things you could have become?
Okay, I chose to become an artist because for me, it doesn't really feel like work. It's like having fun, you know? You get to do your hobby all the time. And for me, I think it's a really brilliant way to communicate. I'm not somebody that is very chatty, and I feel like through illustration, I get to communicate new ideas, and the illustrations start new conversations with different people. I think also I wanted to do something which kind of leaves behind a bit of a legacy. And I feel like through doing art, you're capturing stories and you're leaving that behind for other people. You're capturing social history as it's unfolding. And I think that it's a really nice way to, I guess, be a little bit still. I think a lot of other careers really make you feel a little bit tight. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of rushing. And I think art enables you just to take it a little bit easy and be reflective.
Thank you. That's a really interesting answer. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start at the back of the room and move forwards. I think that's a good way of doing it. So there we go in the corner, back of the room.
What's your favorite piece of art that you've done?
My favorite piece? Oh, it's quite hard. It's quite hard. I think it changes depending on my mood and stuff. So this illustration in the supermarket of my mum, I really like it because I tried a different style. I was experimenting. I said, okay, let me use full color. And I think it's not something I've done for ages. So I really do enjoy that illustration. I really do enjoy this illustration on the left, which says, I miss my friends, because I like the mark making, you know, the different textures that are in there. And I guess the simple use of color. And I think this illustration of the 2 young people in the boxing ring, one on his mobile and then the other girl just chilling, is my favorite because I think it's quite a complex composition. There was a lot to draw, thinking about scale and proportion and tone and all of these different things. So I would say this is probably my top favorite.
Cool. So moving from the back room forward, I think we're going to have to keep it speedy. So quick question, brilliant.
How long would it take for one of your pieces to be finished?
Oh, that's a good question. It really ranges. So this piece that we're talking about just now in the boxing ring, that probably took me like 2 days. Like I'll do it for a few hours, maybe like 4 hours, have a break, come back, do it again for 4 hours. And then it's still not finished because, you know, you need to do the outline. So then, yeah, that one took a good while, but then there are some that are quicker. I can show you a quicker one. Like this one of the planting the bananas in the market. This was very quick because I guess it's not a person. So there's less pressure on it looking like so accurate, like looking like the person. So this one, I can do something like this, maybe in 2 hours. This color one also took a long time as well, because I think I really was cautious of, okay, what colors can I use? What colors go well together? What looks good together? So I would say minimum 2 hours, maximum, it can be 4 days, you know, if it's a really complex piece.
Okay, hand with the girl. Yes, thank you.
What's your favorite type of art?
One more time.
What's your favorite type of art?
Oh, my favorite type. I do really like illustration. I would say that's my favorite type of art, but I love when illustration is on different materials, not just paper. So I like embroidery, you know, when you could see a really big like blanket or something with digital embroidery or hand stitch embroidery in there to make like little bits of the drawing 3D. And I do actually really like painting as well, like large scale paintings.
Huh, interesting. So often you think, oh, well, that's probably all they do or all they're into. And it's really nice to hear about the other things that interest you. So we, you know, we can be varied in what we're into, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, we're going back in the back front.
Like, why did you choose that art and like all the other art types there is? Why did you choose that?
Is it about style?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
I
about
think-
style. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I really experimented. So before I got to this drawing style, I used to draw in many different ways, because I feel like when I was at school, we were kind of taught and encouraged to draw with pencil and make the drawings really accurate, you know, have that kind of immaculate shading, making it smooth, all of that very traditional way of drawing. And I liked it, but then when I came to do my degree, I just began to see that, oh, like, it's not very practical to be an illustrator and that be my style, because it's hard to identify like, oh, is this Olivia's work? If I saw maybe like 15 different illustrations or drawings, I would want my one to be a bit like, oh yeah, I can tell this is Olivia's work because of the style. So I experimented for probably like 6 months, and I wanted to see that what feels like effortless, what feels organic, what feels easy, what feels fun at the same time. And then I came to this style maybe in like 2013, 2012. And from there, I've been developing it. So initially, I was literally just drawing the person and not really doing any backgrounds at all. Like I would never do like context around it. It would just be a person floating. Then I was like, okay, let me challenge myself to build in this kind of style in the whole image to make it more cohesive, more rich.
Yeah, okay, that's brilliant. We have time for one more question, I'm afraid. I'm going to point at red and it opens there. Okay.
Why do you do your pictures? Why are some paintings in the colours that they're not actually up?
Is it what? Can you repeat the question a bit?
Why are some of your paintings in colours that they're not?
Okay. I guess to be expressive, to have fun, and I think sometimes the colors that they're actually not in, it kind of communicates atmosphere in images, you know. I do I do see the value of doing it in the colors that they actually are, like this Vanessa one in brown. But I think sometimes when the pink and green are there, it makes it a bit more vivid, a bit more striking. So sometimes I like to experiment between those two things.
Olivia, that was a perfect way to kick off this workshop. I am so grateful for you joining us.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to you.
I could have gone on and on. We really loved, I think it's given us all a lot of food for thought in terms of our storytelling and our illustration. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll all follow you on Instagram and keep in touch with you, and we'll let you see what we produce at the end of this, see if your influences come through. I really hope they do.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Nice one. Have a good afternoon. See you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Olivia. We'll let you go, but thank you.